in the left position, spawning as the blue Zerg, playing for Team Liquid, it is Red. Now his opponent in the right position. With the easy in the chat, we do have the Red Protoss get out my game. And that I don't think was a BM easy. And I think that it's gonna be actually quite tough to get out my game.
Yeah, it is. Of course, anyone going up versus LiquidRet would have a hard time to win a game. It would be awesome if we would see Get Out My Game take a game off Red. Wouldn't that be
I reckon
awesome?
he can. I'm rooting for our Protoss buddy here, even though I main Zerg. I've switched to random in HOTS, so I'm just like, yeah, support all the players. Come on, get out my game. I'm going to be completely impartial, but I'm rooting for you to win at least one game right now. You can do it. Urgh.
Yep. So, I definitely everybody. This is the thing. Everybody always around the world, and this is the thing that happens over and over and over, everywhere. No matter the state, nationality, competition, or type of sport, everybody always roots for the underdog. And you know why?
Because it's exciting.
No, because we have been stuffed senseless by the stupid American movies where the underdog always wins. Like Rocky Balboa, right? The Water Boy.
I think it goes back a bit further than just American movies. I mean, what about David and Goliath?
Oh, damn it. You just made me look absolutely biased versus American nation. That's not cool. That's not cool. Just for the record, guys, I'm a really tolerant person. I have nothing against American people ever. And let's just drop this, shall we?
Let's go back to this game thing, that people might be tuning into. So,
interesting thing going for a gateway before the cannon.
Brave is the word. It's not interesting, it's brave. But bold, and it's safe to do, because ultimately Red, he's only gone for the 2 Zerglings for the time being. So he's not going for the 4 we saw earlier on, and he was going for 4 in the best of 1 round, which is a really smart move to make. Because generally speaking, in a best of 1, you don't want to fall to anything too dangerous. But Red now cutting a bit of a corner, getting those 2 out rather than 4, still being able to scout out quite effectively, as we can see going across the minimap. But it also means that he squeezes 1 additional drone, which doesn't sound like much, but it has a snowball effect. All these little advantages, and being a best of 3, if he was to lose to something really cheesy, he could just adjust his build going into games 2 and 3.
Yep. And the snowball effects actually is quite big. I had a chart some time ago illustrating how much this snowballs into per every drone, or I mean larva that is made into a unit instead of a drone. And like over 5 minutes, there's a difference of more than 800 minerals mined.
Wow.
If you like make 4 units instead of drones, which is ridiculous.
That is pretty huge. So that's the sort of little snowball effect that you have to take into account, especially early game. It's just so critical that you get it right. But we see now the Red, he's taking his 3rd base. It's about to complete at a very normal time. Meanwhile, for Get Out My Game, he's getting the robotics facility up, which, as a Zerg player, just always screams to you, Immortal Sentry, am I going to die? But the Overlord coming in, he should get the scout out on that. He should do it. Yep, there we go. So he now sees it, now knows everything that could be coming out, and therefore he should get his Roach Warren down in about the next 30 seconds to a minute, an Evolution Chamber as well. Think about starting to take more map control just to engage it more in the center of the map or closer to Get Out My Game space.
Yeah, and I really think that this is going to be an Immortal Sentry push, because holding on to a 3rd base on this map is really difficult because of how the architecture of the map works. And conversely, it's difficult for the Zerg as well, so killing that 3rd base with a push like this, it's actually a lot easier than one would think. But that being said, there are also a lot of open spaces, so a lot of force wheels will be needed. And look at this, even chrono boosting out the sentries.
Now, it's not even going to be an Immortal Sentry all in. A War Prism
War
coming
Prism
down.
4 gate. Ooh.
This is going to be really cool. But as we can see, Red does have good overlord placement around his main. It could be a drop just straight in, but with this overlord placement being just so good, I think it's going to get scouted very easily. There's also this one probe sitting outside the third of Red, but the overlord on its way over, but does stop, so not going to see it quite yet. This is going to be pretty tough, and Red may not be expecting it.
Yeah, this is a 4-gate +1 attack. Wonder if this is just going to be a straight-up attack and if he will use the Warp Prism as a pylon, or if he's going to try to drop, judging by the trajectory of the Warp Prism, he's just going to use it as a unit. He's not going to be doing any fancy dropping inside the main, although he may drop off at this third and make a one more round of Warping. There we go, 3 more Zealots. And then just continue with the Warp Prism behind the base and towards the natural or even the main, and try to attack 2 spots at the same time.
Well, the Queen is now taking some damage, reducing the force field, does prevent it escaping and allows the Queen to fall. All the drones getting evacuated, and Red very well may just allow this hatch to take some damage to buy himself some time to get those roaches out. That's the really important thing he needs right now. But Red ideally needs to hold this. Losing a third base would be really tough for him. We can see the Zealots focusing it down. It's getting really low right now. If this falls, Red is in serious problems, and it does go down.
Oh, and he even saves 2 of the Zealots. A sentry. He saves the sentry and the Stalker, the most important units out there. And behind this, we already have Immortal production. We have more sentries being made back at home. We are on 41 probes. But I think Red is just not going to be in that much of a trouble. I mean, he's got enough drones for now. He can just rebuild that hatch, maybe even double expand if he wants to. That may kill him, though, if he does that, because an Immortal Sentry follow-up is...
He has to double expand now, or he will get too far behind. Now we see that second hatch is going down. It's your only option if you lose that to stay in this game economically.
But that can kill him right now, because... An Immortal Sentry follow-up is going...
He's got enough units out on the map, so as long as he captures it early, he should be fine. But, again, it is a risky move, but you've got to take a risk now. Losing that third is really detrimental to a Zerg player, because it's not only the income, it's the production. Red's production has been seriously hurt now.
Yeah,
and as such... If he doesn't take that risk, he might hold off an Immortal Sentry push, but it's what comes
going to
after
hurt
that will be the big problem.
It would hurt his late game, no doubt about that. Now, he sees this pylon next to the fort, but it has not elected to take it out yet. He's trying to get it.
He's getting ready for a surround. He's going to run the speedlings in. But now, is there a wall off? Is there? If we take a quick look, there is a wall off now complete, so that means no speedling counter pushes. This is going to be tougher for Red, who is producing a lot more roaches. He's just got to delay this to get those roaches out, and he should be okay.
Or infestors. I mean, yeah, first one already on the way. The pathogen glands are just about so much finished that he can start producing them. Huge warping, and that's the pylon that Red fails to eliminate. That's going to hurt him so much. Look at those force fields completely isolating every single roach, just splitting the army. Ideally, I would have to say that those were money force fields, and even trapping a couple more roaches. Only 2, I'll give him that, but... And from now on, it's going to be constant warp-ins, but we do have infestors out on the field. Not very many of them. I'm just trying to find them. And
infestors are coming, but more great force fields going down. These Immortals are staying up, and that's the really important thing. The Red is losing quite a lot. Get out of my game. He is just applying this pressure relentlessly, and... Really, it just comes down to these fungal growths now. Good one, managing in there. So many units, and Red's just got to start chain fungling now. That is what he really needs. There gets another good one.
Another good fungal. But
the roaches need to pull back and not engage too hard too soon. But there we go, running in, getting a good angle. Needs to start sniping off these sentries, and it looks like Red should be able to hold this now.
Yeah, eventually he will, because there are no more force fields to be had. Those were the last ones. The infestors went down, but with the 16 roaches reinforcement that is just about to pop, he might be able to defend this, but miraculously, Get Out My Game is still keeping those Immortals alive through Warp Prism Micro and very good positioning. Red needs to get more of his army together and not engage group by group. There he tries to go again, tries to snipe that Immortal, succeeding in that. And more Warpins coming in, more sentries. Get Out My Game is starting to pull the shorter end of the stick, though.
He is. He's just losing this momentum by losing those Immortals, and as such, I feel Red. He's come back into this game. Get Out My Game is down to just 56 supply, and without a third base, he's really quite trapped to where he is because Red ultimately is up at 70 workers. He's 25 ahead, and as such, Red is definitely in a nice spot now. All he needs to do is stay here. Losing the fourth was fine, and this is why taking that double expansion was the right thing to do, because it allowed him to sacrifice that to buy himself time. And that's why he was able to hold. If he only had the third up, that push would have been so much sooner. And imagine if Red didn't have a third base now, how much different this game would be.
Oh, he would have been dead.
And this is where it's going to be a problem. But this counter push is going to be very tough to hold with only 2 Immortals and a handful of sentries.
Yeah, Get Out My Game is trying to get back into the game actually. By going double by going double Robo Colossi, well, he's got a lot banked up, but going double Robo Colossus, you really need a lot of resources for it. So he's not going to be warping as much stuff as he would want to from now on. He's going to be saving up all of his gas for those Colossus. Maybe he's just waiting. Trying to rush out 4 Colossus and then going for their last effort, last push, because honestly, taking a third base right now is totally out of the question.
He just doesn't have enough to defend it, but this is where you're in one of those catch-22 situations where, actually, I need my third to stay in this game, but if I take my third, I don't have enough to defend it. It's really, really awkward, but Red, he's just moving on. He's getting such a good surround positioning here. This is going to be so difficult to hold. The Infestor's coming in, the Fungal Growth's going to hit. There we go. And even though those force fields are pretty darn good, Red has won this game now. There's nothing you can do with that much at your front door.
Yeah, I mean, that first Fungal Growth... the force fields did not even matter, and there, Get Out My Game just leaves the game without even stating a GG. That's pretty rude, man.